Hi guys, it's me again. It's your boy Scott, slapping as usual. Understand that. Um, so I was gonna go up and like chill at a cemetery close by on this beautiful day in Oregon. You know, being a hobo and all. Gotta have your spots. But it was occupied, and that's unfortunate because I was gonna talk about Night of the Living Dead, George Romero, and because the day's so beautiful and bright and like green and stuff, like the remake. But that's not going down tonight because I want visuals on that. So, but I am here and at this rest stop area here in Staten, and we still have some pretty good visuals because there is this nice little pond out here. I don't know how much of this you can see here without me getting out, but check it out. See if we can get anything. Over here. And you can't see anymore. But right over there, like, the fence is all banged up from deer coming through left and right. And it makes a convenient little pathway down to go fishing down there. Because, like, the pond empties into, like, this stream outlet over there. Nice little spot. Seeing cats, like, posted up there fishing. It's a brilliant little spot. Like, areas like this, really swampy, loaded with, like, bug life. Like, there's monsters swimming around on that motherfucker. It's up to you to go get them. So, I don't know. Like, what would I talk about instead? Like, tons of stuff. Like, I touched on stuff like, Halloween 2 is my favorite movie ever, but it's like locked in with number one, and it's like 1A, 1B, and either what, it's a toss-up. It's all one movie. I'm not going to do that now. Blair Witch Project, that's what I'm doing now. That movie, we'll see how long we talk about this one. How am I going to describe this? Found footage, it may have been the first or, one of the first, but is it truly that? Is it kind of a documentary? Is it kind of a mockumentary? I don't know. I don't know what they pulled off there. Found footage is what I'm leaning towards, But before I go further into the movie, I don't hear a lot, or I've never ran across it, but it's my ignorance, that people talking about there was, what was it, about a half hour long special that the Sci-Fi Channel did back in the 90s. Wow, we're going back. And I remember getting home from school, high school, senior year, walk up that fucking muddy logging road, get home, plop my sorry ass down, grab the remote, pull up the Sci-Fi Channel. That was what's really cracking back then. I was heavily into sports, so it's either ESPN or Sci-Fi Channel, something like that. And a lot of people don't know this, but the same cast and crew basically made a little mini movie prequel to the Blair Witch Project, and it aired on Sci-Fi Channel. I know because I watched it, and back then, 12th grader, you're still susceptible to like BS, and they pulled it off with me because I thought it was fucking real. Because it's the main chick with her camera, and the guys, or she doesn't have the camera, one of the guys, their crew. And basically they're just interviewing people in the closest town to where the forest is, where they're going to go out to. And her interviewing these people just seems so, back then, so credible and real to me, that when I saw the movie, I thought everything was real in it. I thought the Blair Witch was real. That's the only like horror movie, horror series, horror anything ever where it convinced me that that shit was real. Surreal. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, like if you're a Blair Witch Project fan, which you're legion, I know you're out there, you're gonna love this, you know? Like, there's way better channels you can go to that they'll cover it way better than me. Okay, I just freestyle this stuff, you know? But yeah, there was like a little mini prequel movie to that just added, like, what other, like, I know there's like stuff like Star Wars, you know, the Christmas special and the Ewoks or whatever. But how many more, like, especially horror-wise, where there's like something like that? Like, okay, you're looking at Art the Clown, Terrifier. He had something like that. Like the original is like, what, like a YouTube 10-minute long video with Art in the train station, gets the chick, you know, she's handcuffed on the pipe. You got all these other horrific beings, which I want to see more spotlight shined on the other ones in his mythos, you know? Fuck, where did I'm drifting off here. But I guess the point was, like, the original Terrifier was, you know, kind of like a fan film. You can't really call it that because, like, those are based off of previous characters, I guess. I don't know. It's his creation. It was this person's first attempt. Okay, around 10 minutes long. It was so sick, right? And then the movies come out. That's kind of the only thing I can really compare it to right now. You know, I might think of like something later on. Be like, oh shit, you know, I should have put that in there. But you know, hindsight's a motherfucker. But I guess we should get to the movie. But yeah, 3 people go into this forest looking for this mythological being, this witch, you know. And no matter how irritating they all are, like, there's so much credibility in them being real people that you can relate to, which just exacerbates the situation, man. Like, because, you know, most people ain't like me. They're not buying it that it's real, you know. But it's still entertaining because of like the credibility factor any writer, director, producer wants wrapped around something fantastic. You know, a cat like Stephen King's the GOAT at that, the greatest of all time when it comes to taking an idea that's probably gonna be fucking preposterous and absurd, but he's gonna make it count when he surrounds the shit sandwich with like sprinkles or whatever. Maybe that wasn't the best thingamajig to do right there. I'm sounding like a more and more of a Stephen King hater because I had Carpenter's #1. But I'm not a King hater at all. He's still on the Mount Rushmore right there, and he's a very close second behind Carpenter. But Blair Witch Project, you know, these 3 younger people go out with their cameras, journalists, trying to document like whatever they can find out in the forest, and they get lost out there, and it starts getting bad, you know, and they start like turning on each other, and like nothing's good at all. And you know, the chick with the camera, like, you start like resenting her, you know, but by the end of the movie, like, it's like, fuck yeah, you're like nails on a chalkboard, but at least you're fucking raw and real, and you do like regret this shit happening, you know. I don't know, there's like redemption qualities with her, I suppose. Not too much to say with the dudes because they're not there largely for portions of the movie, you know. So you know, I don't know how much I want to go into with the details of the legend of the Blair Witch. Okay, if you're interested or you're already a fan, you already know that stuff. And basically, like, you know, she's out there in these woods. There's like a house. She'll fuck with you on the way there, which she does. And if you get there, God don't go in the house, right? And that's where she punishes people, you know. You go in there, and if you see somebody standing in a corner, like she's punishing them, and if you see that, you know you're dead immediately. She's going to kill you. I think that's the lore with that. Which, I mean, lines up with what happens in the movie. Spoiler alert. Fuck the spoiler alert shit, goddammit. So sick of that. I won't do it again. Like, I'm mad at myself. So they're fumbling around out in the forest, the three of them, and, you know, they can't find their way back. They get mistracked, you know, and the whole time, like, something is leaving stuff around them to let them know they're not alone. And it's subtle at first, and then it gets, like, out of control. Like these weird things they build. I'm referring to them as they because, like, it just seems like, even though this thing is supernatural, it seems like there's, like, more than one of them. I know there's pretty much supposed to be just one of them. So whatever it is, like, leaving, like, these, like, signs. And it's creepy as a motherfucker. And then you start hearing shit, and it just, you know, and they're freaking out, and she's freaking out, and they're blaming her more and more. So she doesn't just get to be scared like they do. She's catching heat from them. So it's fucked up. And even though she's like a fucking douchebag, they're going hard on her, and it's like the whole thing's fucked, you know. And like what happens? Like, they're crossing a lot. What did they lose? I'm trying to remember here. They lost something in the creek. I want to say it's like the camera. One of their cameras. No, was it the map or something? There was like a map or something on the way out of there. It was something like that, like devastating. And they just pile on her again, you know, just beating the shit out of the lead actress. Which she did a fucking phenomenal job on this. She really did. And the guys did too, but, you know, their roles are a little bit more limited, like screen time. This is found footage, so the footage time is going to be, like, weird, iffy, off, and who knows who's going to get the time. But it should be her. So like, they're trying to get out of there, and, you know, I think they, like, walk around in circles a couple times, and, you know, they're freaking out, and then, like, one of them goes missing during the nighttime, and you never see him again. It's fucked up. And, like, they're screaming for him throughout the day. Nothing. And she's, like, mentally fucked, and the other guy's, like, you know, he's kind of over, like, berating her and, like, trying to fucking make her snap out of it. But how can you really at this point? And it gets to the point where he's missing too, and she's got the camera with a light on it, and she comes upon this creepy house out of nowhere. Gotta love shit like that. Check out my channel, I got some of that on there. An abandoned house, cottage, more of a house, but it's I don't know, it's a house. And she makes her way in there with the camera. She's recording everything, and hearing sounds, there's fucked up shit on the walls. And she makes her way, was it downstairs or the attic? Either one is going to be scary as a motherfucker, so please excuse me if I get it wrong here. It's been a while since I've seen it, you know. But she ends up going into a room, and there's the other guy standing in a corner, and then she's attacked apparently, and the camera falls down, and that's that. Which goes right back into the lore where if you're looking at the person, I guess, that's standing in the corner, like, you're dead. And that's how it played out. Just one of the most absolute eerie, creepy movies, I guess. Like you would call it like what, a lost footage, found footage movie, or is it like a documentary type of thing? Like I said, mockumentary. I wouldn't say it's that in the sense that it's mocking the material, but in a way you gotta know it's all I don't know, but that movie's enthralling even now. That's one of the greatest horror movies ever made by anybody, and it's not even close. Like, we're talking like serious, like bump you the fuck out of the top 10 type of shit. Now, that came out of the 90s, and I've been watching horror for a long time, since I was real little. When my mom was flipping, and, you know, like, oh, HBO, I'm watching Terminator and Halloween and stuff, you know. I've seen stuff come and go, and in my opinion, yeah, you can see I'm older, I'm an old guy, but it's getting weaker and weaker. You know, there's as time goes by, right? And that was back in the 90s. What's really cracking off in the, you know, since then? Not too much. You got Terrifier, Art the Clown, not to be fucked with. And it's new and refreshing. It's like, move over Pennywise. Fuck with this clown type of shit, right? It's unique. It's not copying it. So, but slim pickings outside of that, outside of cats like Kane Pixels in the back rooms. Oh God, man. God bless you. Thank you for being here, Kane. Your back rooms mythos, your abilities there, second to none, my friend. You are a true horror master. I've been watching you for a while now. You know, your last videos, the Rolling Giant. You almost stopped my heart a couple times on that one. We'll be talking about you more later. But the point is, like, this generation is still good with horror masters, even though to me they're few and far between. You know, you do have a bunch of like kind of standalone movies, like It Follows. I love that concept, and what's coming out, or if it already came out, They Follow. When I heard that was coming out, I'm like, what? There's more than one of those motherfuckers? That's scarier than anything. Just one of those fucking things on the planet and what it does. You're telling me there's more than one? Fuck Xenomorphs and Yautja and fucking Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and all of that. So I'm getting older, but I still appreciate horror and like some stuff, and like a lot of it I just don't tolerate, I guess. And going back to the found footage, like that is the movie that started, undeniably. Even if it wasn't the first, I'm still trying to think, and maybe I should do some research to see if that was truly the first horror movie, or any movie really with like that. But how unique it was, how genuine it was, how it sold you on it, like a goddamn horror masterpiece. Where would I put it on my list? I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know. Is that in my top 10? Because if it isn't, what the hell's in my top 10, right? Or that can't be in it, right? It's a flawless masterpiece, but you have to accept that it is like found footage, documentary style stuff, because it's not your typical movie, all right? But it's going to do the trick if you're a true horror fan. So I'm giving this one kind of a supernatural horror thing. It's not like a slasher or any other type of genre of horror other than supernatural. A supernatural documentary found footage flick. But it's just so unnerving with the arguing out in the forest, and everybody's lost and everybody's making sense and nobody's making sense at the same time. And like, you got to make your moves, you know. You're running out of food and resources, and you know, your recorders or your battery life will run low. So check it out. Like, the whole thing is like you're on pins and needles trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and this witch is constantly fucking with them, but it keeps upping like the stakes a little bit and scaring you more and more, and including like abducting people that you don't get to see again. All right, but when you get to that house, just her rolling up on the house, like I have videos like that, like me doing that, and yeah, it's hitting me pretty hard, like just thinking about it again. Just rolling up on the house, but going in that motherfucker, incredibly creepy. Like, the ending of that is right up there with the greatest endings of any horror movie ever. So, Blair Witch Project, all right? Check that out. Check out the prequel, little mini movie, I guess it is. Okay, because they go hand in hand. They're basically one movie. If you don't have that, you don't have like the whole thing. And I maybe like if you go out and buy it on Blu-ray, they'll have that. I don't know, but at least check it out on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it on there. So yeah, man, Blair Witch Project, top-notch horror. If you're into horror, watching horror movies, you're not gonna go wrong with this one. All right, man, like that's a damn guarantee. I'll check you later.